I feel like there's no big reason why I'm hiking it again, but it's just a bunch of like little reasons where it just kind of made sense. So I thru hiked the whole trail 2 years ago, and I did it in 120 days, and it just went by really quick. I'm thankful I have all these vlogs and videos to look back on, but feels like it happened in the blink of an eye. And I did the 300 miles in 2020, and last year I did a bunch of like overnight trips on the AT. So at this point, it just kind of seems like this is what I do. And I don't know, and I have my whole Taylor the Nahamsha Hiker YouTube channel, which I love making videos for. So I get to hike, do what I love, make the videos, and I know I'm in my 20s, so I know I'm not going to have all this time and flexibility for a long time. So might as well do it all now while I can. This time is really different because last thru hike, I hiked the whole thing with my friend Cody. Like, we met on the 5th day, and then right off the bat, we started hiking the trail together. This time, I've been completely by myself, which definitely is a lot of pros and cons. I love it because I love the freedom of doing whatever I want, when I want, and making my own decisions, but there also are times where it could get a little lonely. And I think the speed that I like to hike, I don't stick around groups of people for that often, for a long time. So I meet a couple people, hang out with them for a couple days, and then I have to hike on and meet like a whole new group of people and kind of start friendships again. So that's been a little difficult, but I really do just like being out here by myself this time. It's a good change of pace. So this was planned before I started the hike this year. I knew I was going to do the thru hike. So I probably planned this maybe over like last winter, the marathon. My friend Janine is super into running marathons, and she's really good at it. And she wanted to do a marathon. I don't know if she was trying to qualify for a race or anything, but I told her, I was like, I want to run a marathon. Like, that's fun. She's like, but you're going to be away on the AT. I was like, well, if we do it somewhere in between Virginia and New Hampshire, we can meet halfway and do the marathon. So I'm crazy, and she knows that. So I made it happen. It was tough. I thought it was going to be easier just because I had been hiking for so long. I thought I would be in shape, but out of the 4 marathons that I've done, this was the slowest, which kind of surprised me. The thing that I loved was every time the race course went uphill, I was really good at that. I saw everyone around me starting to walk, and I just kind of kept running uphill, but I made it a big goal of mine during the marathon was to never slow down to a walk, and that never happened. So I jogged the whole thing, crossed the finish line. It took me 5.5 hours. It was a fun way to kind of break up the AT too. Yeah. So I hiked for a while, then I got to take 3 days off of trail, see my friends, see my husband, challenge myself by running the marathon, and I thought it was cool. I don't regret it. Yeah, something happened last night, which I thought was pretty cool. I walked into a shelter and some guy had a Snickers and a honey bun in a little Ziploc bag and a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Yeah, and he was like, oh, this is in case I saw you on trail. So it's funny when people watch my videos and they find out what I like. And so sometimes if I show myself eating honey buns, I become known as like someone who loves honey buns. And it's just,
do you like honey buns?
I guess so. I never really ate them until the trail this year. Yeah. But my mom visited me on trail and she brought one. But yeah, I've had a lot of good support. A lot of people want to come out and help me, but just with my style of hiking, sometimes it's hard to coordinate certain things, but people are super supportive. You really gotta like thru hiking. I saw a quote from someone, I think it was Warren Doyle. It was like, I'm not gonna convince anyone to thru hike the AT. Like, I'm not gonna persuade anyone to do it. It's gotta be something that you actually love to do. So if you're on trail and you're just not feeling it, if it doesn't feel like deep in your heart that you love thru hiking, there's no need to like push yourself and make yourself miserable. I've met people out here that just after a couple days, they're like, it's not for me. I'm just gonna go section hike. So just, the AT is incredible. There's so many different things you can do on the AT. You can thru hike it in 4 months like I do. You can take 8 months. You can day hike it. You can section hike it. So just figure out what your hiking style is. And if you love to thru hike and it works for you, then great. Just make the most of it. Like, go to the hostels that you want to go to. I know this is big for me, but don't feel pressure from other people to do certain things. I get a lot of people saying that in order to thru hike, you got to sleep in your tent every night, or you got to disconnect and not be on your phone that much. But for me, I love towns. I use my phone a lot. I watch TV in my tent, and I'm just out here doing whatever makes me happy. So that's the big thing for me. I feel like I just had a miserable day. I can't remember. Yeah, I think for me, the worst day was when I was in the Grayson Highlands. I think I hiked out of Damascus. I got to the top of this ridge or mountain or something, and it just completely started to downpour. And I got soaked. I put my rain layers on, but I didn't put any like insulating layers underneath. So I was just cold and wet. And then it was also downpouring so much that I didn't want to open my backpack to get my insulating layers, because I thought the second I opened my backpack, everything inside would just get soaked. So I just said, screw it. And I just kept hiking, cold and wet. And I found a little tiny like roof under a trailhead sign. And I took out my phone and I called the closest hostel that I saw around Far Out. And they said they could come pick me up, but I still had like 8 more miles to hike. And then they charged me like $90 for a shuttle. And it was an interesting hostel, and I had like undercooked frozen pizza for dinner. And then I got super sick the next morning because I don't know if I ate something or something happened, but that was a rough day. So this right here is my favorite piece of gear. It sits right on the strap of my backpack, and I drink so much more water with it. I don't have to take out a bottle to drink it. I just kind of put my head down, sip it through the straw. Usually I put my drink mixes in this. And so,
16 ounces is
I think so. Oh no, it's a half a liter. So yeah, last thru hike I just had a smart water bottle right on my strap. And then if you pair it with the chicken tramper gear sleeve, it's perfect. I was nervous this was gonna just like fly in my face the whole time, but it really just stays put and don't even notice it there. The guy I met at the shelter last night who gave me the Trail Magic, he had one on his backpack because he saw it in my video.
Nice.